friends, and we basically talked over the phone for a long time. Because
Where were you coming from?
I was coming from Florida. I used to be active duty military, and when I got out, my last duty station was down there in Florida, so I just stayed down there with my kids.
What branch of the military were you in?
The Army.
The Army, okay. Thank you for your service.
You're welcome. Well, I came back from Florida in 2012 to California because most of my family is now passing away. I met Najmah, and because I think we had a mutual friend, so we basically met and we talked over the phone for a long time. But I primarily lived in the north side of Sacramento. I have Section 8 housing through the VA. It's a specific type of Section 8 for just veterans. I wind up not having anywhere to go and not having anywhere to stay. I'm diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder.
Okay.
I sometimes get sick from time to time. I have an anxiety disorder and seizures, so I choose not to drive. So if I need to go to the doctor, Najmah's one of my good friends, so she'll drive me. She'll take me to my doctor's. She'll walk with me in the grocery store. If I have a seizure, she'll leave her job and she'll come make sure that I'm okay.
So she was a good friend?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you living in this home that you were currently in Sacramento? Were you living by yourself?
I live by myself.
And you were renting that home from someone else?
Yes, ma'am.
You were on Section 8 at the time?
Still am, yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead.
I wound up not feeling good. I felt like something was sitting on my chest and I couldn't breathe well. So I'm a veteran. We call the advice nurse and they'll tell us what to do. They instructed me that I needed to come into the hospital. So Najmah showed up around at my house on the 19th between probably 9 and 10 o'clock with her kids. And I went to my doctor's appointment. We were there till about 3 or 4:30.
And you're about to tell me what happened after that, but let me hear from Ms. Karim first. Give me some background on you and how often were you driving the plaintiff around? Is everything she stated so far accurate?
Yes, it is, Your Honor. I'm her friend and I'm her caretaker, and we've known each other for about 2 years. I met her through my children's father.
When you say you're her caretaker, is there a formal arrangement between the two of you?
No, that's just how I am. I care for people.
Mm-hmm. Do you work?
Yes, I do.
You have a full-time job?
I have a part-time job.
Part-time job? What do you do for work?
I work at Dickie's Barbecue Pit.
Okay, and so she talked to you about some of the issues she was having in her concerns about driving, and you did what?
I would provide rides for her whenever she needed.
Was she paying you to do this?
No.
You were volunteering?
Yes, sometimes she would give me gas if I really needed it, but I never requested gas from her because she was my friend, and that's just how I am.
Okay, go ahead, ma'am. So you were coming back from the doctor.
When we left the doctor's office in Mather, we stopped by Najmah's house first, which is close to my house, but it's considered in Greenhaven. When we got there, her mom said I didn't look too good, so she needed to take me home. So Najmah proceeded to leave from her house to my house. My driveway is kind of large. I can fit 6 cars in my driveway going long way. The way my house is shaped is a little bit different. My living room is where your garage would be. It's separate from the main part of the house. So when she pulls into the driveway, there's like a little steep, like a step, I guess. So when she pulls in, I'm in the passenger seat and her kids are behind me. I felt, the car pulled in and it didn't pull in all the way. It kind of rolled back.
Whose car was she driving?
Her own. It was a 2003 Eclipse.
Okay, so it was her car.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. It rolled up, we pulled in and the car rolled back. She accelerated, the 4 tires popped up, but she didn't come in far enough in my driveway and the car rolled back again. She accelerated again and we didn't stop until I got out in my living room.
Coming up, the issue of insurance is addressed in court.
Were you not insured?
I was insured, but it wasn't under my name. The car was gifted to me from my grandmother, and
so you did not have insurance.
Change it over into my name.
And you were not listed as a permissive driver under your grandmother's policy?
No.
Plaintiff Destiny Massey says Najmah is at fault for the accident and should pay for the damage. She's suing for destroyed personal property and home repairs. Defendant Najmah Karim says she owes nothing because the damage should be covered under the homeowner's policy or renter's insurance.
So the car went straight through the house.
It went straight through the front window, through the front window, into...
I only made it into the living room. It didn't go past the wall. It just went to the living room.
But you went through a wall.
The car hit so hard that the chair literally flew into the wall, made a large dent into the wall, and I had leather couches, that reclined stuff. The car smashed into my couch, and it completely crushed my couch, and it knocked the baseboard and the back wall about a foot off the house. But my house in the back is cement. I don't know why it's like that, but it's cement and copper wire.
And that's what stopped you from going through another wall?
And the couch.
Okay, let me see the photos you submitted to the court.
This is actually Najmah's car inside of my house. That is my living room. window, and that is my front door. Where I'm standing at, that's the side where the garage is, and that little piece of white is a bedroom. But it's completely in my living room.
And you have video you submitted as well. Let me take a look at the video.
This is actually the couch that she drove into. In front of that bay window was my 65-inch TV, my surround sound, and most of my belongings. That is the back wall that has been pushed back, and that's the major impact part from where the car landed inside of my living room.
What happened, Miss Karim? Were you having a malfunction with your car? What happened?
Yes, my car had some issues with the brakes, and when we were coming into the driveway...
So you had issues with the brakes?
Yes, that day I was supposed to take it to the shop, and I had to pick up my kids on a whim.
No one was injured.
Nobody was injured.
No. Okay. And so what happened?
Oh, well, I was driving up the driveway that's steep, and it did roll back, so I knew I had to give it a little more gas. So once I said, yes, just a little gas. So when I went to step on the gas, she said, no, brake, and we were only halfway in the driveway. So I proceeded to brake, and that's when I realized that my anti-lock light had came on, but we didn't even stop until we got to that couch that you see in there.
So your brakes failed?
Yes, basically, that's what
completely at that moment?
Yes.
What happened after you realized you've all gone through this?
I had a meltdown. I'm not going to lie. I had a meltdown because it took me back to a place where I was real young. My grandmother had a seizure, and she had went through someone's garage, and I had to stop the car basically by turning off the key.
So you've been in an incident like this before?
Yes, I have.
What happens after you go through the wall and you're inside of your living? What's your reaction to this?
Well, I'm a vet, so I'm trained to react first.
Right.
So I'm going to be honest. From my opinion, I see this. Her leg was moving, and in my opinion, she was pumping on the brake, but the car didn't stop. So I'm a vet. My first instinct, I got out the car, I leaned the seat back, and I strapped both of her children, and I took her kids out the car, and I walked out the front door. I don't know how long it was before the ambulance got there, but by the time they got there, then
less than 5 minutes.
It had came in. It said on me that she had drove me in my house in. They didn't take me, but they had to get my breathing back in order so I didn't seize. But I was pretty bad.
So you were hyperventilating because obviously this is a pretty traumatic accident to be involved in, and it's your home and all of your property. So let me understand this. Where do you live now?
In the house still.
Has the home been repaired?
No, ma'am.
Is there a front wall?
No, ma'am, there's boards.
Okay, it's boarded up, but you're still living there.
Yes, ma'am.
For what reason? Because
I have nowhere else to go.
Coming up on Judge Faith, can the ladies mend their broken friendship?
You had a friend, somebody who is driving you around, taking you to the grocery store, doing all of these things, never asked you for anything. That's a real friend. That's what I'm saying, Juan. That's the kind of friend I want to have.
Emotional consideration for Judge Faith brought to you by
Plaintiff Destiny Massey says Najmah hit the gas instead of the brakes. She's suing for destroyed personal property and home repairs. Defendant Najmah Karim says she owes nothing because it was an accident.
And so you're suing now for the value of your property.
Yes, ma'am.
You said it was destroyed. You said it was $10,000 worth of property. And so for the last 2 months, you've been living with the home boarded.
Yes, ma'am.
You're in Section 8. What about homeowners insurance? Has that not covered any of the damage to your property?
My landlord claims she does not have homeowners insurance.
But you're in Section 8, so she does have homeowners insurance.
She keeps telling me that she doesn't have it. As far as Section 8 has done is they came out, they put out a notice for inspection. They tell you what you're supposed to fix, and they give you a certain amount of time to fix it. Mm-hmm. They came out after the accident because I had already had an inspection scheduled for the 28th.
And there have been no repairs?
No, ma'am. I cleaned out the living room.
The VA has not investigated the claim that she does not have homeowners insurance. Because in general, for her to be approved, for you to live in the home, there are certain requirements that have to be met, and one of those is having insurance.
My landlord told me that. She told me that it lapsed.
The homeowner's insurance lapsed.
That's what she claimed.
Okay, so she's saying she had it at the time. How long have you lived in this home?
For over a year.
Okay, let me hear from you about your car insurance. Were you not insured?
I was insured, but it wasn't under my name. The car was gifted to me from my grandmother, and
so you did not have insurance.
Change it over into my name.
How
not
long
with
you had
that
the car?
vehicle. Not very long, since I want to say like January, February.
Long enough for you to make sure that the car is properly insured in your name, so you could drive it legally in the state of California,
yes, my
right?
grandmother does not live in Sacramento.
Okay,
and that's
you gotta stop. I know that this was an accident.
Yes.
But the insurance piece of this is your responsibility completely to make sure the car that you're driving with you and your young children in the vehicle is properly insured. Even if it's liability insurance, I'm just asking you what kind of insurance you had, but you had no insurance whatsoever in your name name is what you're telling me.
The insurance, we had insurance, not in my name, and that was supposed to be taken care of.
And you were not listed as a permissive driver under your grandmother's policy?
No.
Okay, so that's problematic because that's something you should have checked on and made sure was taken care of. That's your responsibility if you're going to drive this car.
Yes.
This case is exactly why people have insurance, because it's the unexpected that happens, the things you don't think will happen, which is exactly what happened in this case. The brakes failed, you couldn't stop, you went through the wall of the house.
Yes.
And the police questioned you that day. They found that you weren't intoxicated. There wasn't an issue, that it was a failure with the car. And so here we are now. You weren't insured at all.
Not with
and now you're looking at a lawsuit worth $10,000. You can't afford to get into an accident like this.
This is true.
May I see proof of the property that was damaged in the home?
I believe that Miss Peggy should have had homeowner's insurance as well.
You mean renter's insurance?
Renter's insurance.
This is a list of my property. She also ran over my medications, which I kept in my living room under my TV. So this is my med list.
Is there any particular reason why you're keeping your medications under your television?
Well, so anyone that knows, if I had a seizure, go find Destiny's white box. It's like an emergency box. People that know me know my conditions. They know what's wrong, and they know where to look for it at. To be honest, part of the problem was there was insurance, but there was only $10,000 worth of insurance.
Did you have renter's insurance?
No, her grandmother or whoever it was, they had progressive insurance.
Oh, you're talking about the car insurance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
The car insurance?
There's no insurance available for her to make a claim. Apparently no homeowner's insurance, no car insurance, no renter's insurance, but there's a difference between renter's insurance and car insurance because by law, you're required to have insurance on your car. She's not required to have renter's insurance. Obviously, it's a good idea, but I'm talking about your legal obligations. People have accidents every day. It's not every day that you drive your car through somebody else's living room.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules.
Closed captioning for Judge Faith brought to you by
Judge Faith rules.
In a case like this, there are two issues. There's the issue of liability. There's the issue of damages. In terms of liability, you're liable. It was an accident, obviously. Your brakes failed. But you know what? You knew that there was a problem with the brakes. You should have had it taken care of. You're driving in this car. You have your young kids in the back. That should have been your number one priority.
Yes.
Then there's the issue of damages, what you have to pay. She submitted a list here of the items in the living room. They add up to approximately $10,000. You know this was an accident, right? Because this woman was your friend. Yes. And she knows what your life has been like in the past year. Things that you've been through, the fact that you've been struggling and you're on Section 8, all of these things after serving our country in the military. You didn't have a place to go. You were homeless at some point. And then you moved to Sacramento and you have a friend, somebody who is picking you up, driving you around, taking you to the grocery store, doing all of these things. Never asked you for a dime. Never asked you for anything. She said sometimes you knew she needed gas money and you would give her gas money. That's the kind of friend, that's a real friend. That's what I'm saying, Juan. That's the kind of friend I want to have. Now, this was an accident. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
This is not a woman who would ever do anything to harm you. She had your back. So, do you forgive her for what happened?
Yeah, Najmah, please be my friend. I'm stuck right now, okay?
I get it, you're in a bad place. But can you mend this friendship is what I'm saying, because people like her don't come around that often.
I miss being able to talk to her on a daily basis when I don't have no one to talk to and no one else understands what's going on, and they're just hard over me. Nobody understands, and sometimes people don't understand me because I'm a vet, and sometimes I guess to other people we speak in a different language. But she takes the time to understand me, and there's not a lot of civilians that can do that for a veteran.
I'm going to ask you, Miss Karim, can you move past this lawsuit and you guys continue to have a relationship?
Of course, I have a big heart. I really do. I see, the good in people, even when they do me wrong,
But you don't feel like she did you wrong.
Oh, no.
You're upset because you filed a lawsuit.
Of course.
Obviously.
Of course, that's going to be a strain on her. So, of course, she's going to lash out in a way that she doesn't really understand. Her PTSD is active with all the stress that she's endured over the last couple of years, and that accident is something that helped it.
Okay, so you know what we're going to do? We're going to hug this out. We're going to hug it out, and then we're going to...
We'll go home.
You help me unpack. Okay.
Well, undecorate.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
We got 3 rooms in the back.
Here's what we're going to do. The maximum I can allow in my courtroom is $5,000. That is the maximum I can award you. Your lawsuit exceeds the maximum. So my judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. Good luck to both of you.
Thank you.
I agree with what she said about the judgment, about the responsibility of insurance. I'm also going to get me some renter's insurance. I learned my lesson too. I'm going to make a real effort to maintain the friendship that we have and restore it back to the place that it once was at.
I believe that, our friendship can be repaired because we're just 2 strong individuals.
If you or someone you know has a dispute, don't take the law into your own hands. Let Judge Faith rule on it for you. To submit your case, go to judgefaith.com and tell us your story. See you in court.